Imagine locking eyes with someone across a crowded room and feeling an instant magnetic pull. No words exchanged, yet every glance speaks volumes. You laugh at the same joke, mirror each other's movements, and even sense what the other is thinking. That invisible electric connection is more than coincidence. It's a deep psychological bond. Today we all uncover the 10 undeniable signs that reveal when two people feel a profound connection without ever saying a word. No. 1. Unspoken eye contact, the silent language of desire. Unspoken eye contact is one of the most powerful and intimate forms of communication between two people. Unlike spoken words, which can be filtered, analyzed, or misinterpreted, a look shared between two individuals often carries a raw, unfiltered truth. In the realm of dark psychology and human attraction, eye contact becomes a subtle yet highly revealing tool, allowing people to sense emotional and sexual energy without uttering a single syllable. When two people feel a deep connection, their eyes often meet and hold in ways that seem almost magnetic. This isn't casual or fleeting glances, but prolonged, deliberate, or even subconscious stares that create a silent conversation. There's a chemistry that transpires through the eyes alone, an intimate understanding that can convey interest, curiosity, desire, and even unspoken longing. The eyes become a gateway to a person's inner world, and the mutual recognition of that world creates a powerful sense of closeness. In many cases, unspoken eye contact triggers physiological reactions that the conscious mind may not immediately recognize. Pupils dilate, heart rate increases, and a subtle flush may appear on the skin. These reactions are biological markers of attraction and emotional arousal, often occurring without conscious control. When mirrored in both individuals, it confirms the presence of an intense shared energy that neither can easily ignore. There's also an element of tension and anticipation in unspoken eye contact. The longer two people hold that gaze, the more their minds start reading between the lines, analyzing micro-expressions, and guessing thoughts and feelings. This silent dialogue can create a seductive dynamic, where every glance is loaded with meaning, every look a question, and every blink a subtle acknowledgement of mutual understanding. Eye contact also reinforces trust and empathy, allowing both parties to feel seen and understood at a deeper level. Unlike casual conversations that can be superficial, the eyes bypass social masks and defenses, revealing the authentic emotional core of each person. When two individuals can connect in this silent way, it strengthens the psychological bond and enhances the intensity of attraction, making the connection feel almost magnetic and inescapable. In intimate scenarios, unspoken eye contact often blends with body language and micro-expressions to form a complete nonverbal dialogue. A slight smile, a raised eyebrow, or a soft glance toward the lips can intensify the connection, hinting at desire or shared fantasies. This silent interplay builds tension, attraction, and psychological intimacy that words alone often fail to capture. The power of unspoken eye contact lies in its subtlety and its ability to convey a wealth of emotion. It's a psychological tool that taps into subconscious signals, creating a bridge between two minds and two hearts, binding them together through shared awareness, curiosity, and desire. No. 2. Subtle mirroring, the unconscious dance of connection. Subtle mirroring is a fascinating psychological phenomenon that occurs when two people unconsciously imitate each other, its body language, gestures, posture, and even speech patterns. In the context of deep unspoken connection, mirroring acts as a silent signal of attraction, empathy, and synchronization between minds. It's a behavior rooted in the subconscious, often unnoticed by either party. Yet it speaks volumes about the magnetic bond forming beneath the surface. When two individuals feel a profound connection, their bodies begin to align naturally. They might cross their legs simultaneously, lean forward at the same moment, or subtly adopt each other's hand gestures. This unconscious mimicry creates a sense of harmony, almost as if both people are in a silent, synchronized dance. The act of mirroring signals mutual understanding and comfort, indicating that each person is attuned to the other's energy. It fosters a feeling of unity, making interactions feel effortless and deeply satisfying. Psychologically, mirroring triggers a sense of rapport. When someone mirrors our movements, our brain interprets it as familiarity and trustworthiness, which intensifies emotional closeness. In romantic or sexual contexts, this subconscious alignment can amplify attraction. Each subtle gesture mirrored back feels like a confirmation of mutual interest, creating an invisible loop of desire and acknowledgement that deepens the connection without a single word being exchanged. Mirroring extends beyond mere physical gestures. It can also manifest in speech patterns and tone. Two people who share a strong unspoken bond may adopt similar rhythms of talking, matching tempo, or even echoing key phrases without realizing it. This linguistic synchronization reinforces the psychological link, making each interaction feel effortless, as though both minds are operating in tandem. The closer the mirroring, the stronger the subconscious signal that the connection is meaningful and mutually recognized. In intimate encounters, mirroring often enhances the sexual tension between two people. A slight touch, the way one tilts their head, or the angle of a smile can be reflected subtly, heightening awareness and desire. This silent dance communicates interest, attentiveness, and emotional resonance. The individuals involved may feel an unexplainable comfort and thrill at being perfectly in sync, which is both addictive and intoxicating. Subtle mirroring also acts as a nonverbal validation of feelings and intentions. By mimicking each other, individuals convey empathy, attentiveness, and a subconscious willingness to connect, reinforcing the invisible psychological bridge between them. Over time, this shared physical and behavioral resonance strengthens the intensity of attraction, creating a magnetic pull that draws both closer, even without verbal affirmation. The power of subtle mirroring lies in its quiet, almost imperceptible nature. It bypasses conscious analysis and taps directly into the subconscious, allowing two people to communicate, understand, and resonate with each other on a level that words often cannot reach, amplifying desire, intimacy, and psychological alignment. No. 3. Electric touches. The invisible spark between you. Electric touches are small, seemingly accidental physical contacts that ignite a deep emotional and sexual response. Unlike casual or friendly touches, these moments carry an intensity that resonates through the nervous system, creating a heightened sense of connection between two people. In the realm of dark psychology and intimate attraction, electric touches act as nonverbal signals of desire, signaling interest and intimacy without any spoken words. These touches can occur in many forms: a brush of the hand while passing an object, a light graze on the arm, or a lingering touch on the back or shoulder. What makes them powerful is not the physical act itself, but the psychological impact. Each contact sends subconscious messages of closeness, warmth, and attentiveness. The brain interprets these touches as intimacy cues, releasing feel-good chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine, which deepen emotional attachment and spark attraction. Electric touches often create a visceral, almost magnetic reaction. A single touch can cause a shiver, a quickened heartbeat, or a subtle flush, signaling the body's recognition of desire and connection. Both individuals may become acutely aware of each other's presence, and even brief contact can leave a lingering sense of tension or longing. This silent dialogue through touch communicates more than words ever could, expressing curiosity, interest, and unspoken consent to explore closeness. In deeply connected individuals, electric touches often feel intentional even when they appear accidental. There's an intuitive rhythm to these interactions, a subconscious push and pull where proximity and contact are carefully calibrated to maintain interest and heighten anticipation. These small gestures can escalate the psychological tension, making each encounter more thrilling and addictive. Electric touches also serve as reinforcement of shared attraction and emotional synchronization. When one person initiates a subtle touch and the other responds with an equally delicate touch, it creates a feedback loop of acknowledgement and desire. This unspoken reciprocity strengthens the invisible bond and heightens mutual awareness, making each interaction feel charged with energy. Even in casual settings, these touches can be remarkably revealing. They provide insight into boundaries, comfort levels, and the subconscious acknowledgement of attraction. When repeated over time, electric touches contribute to a layered psychological connection, blending emotional intimacy with sexual tension. The lingering memory of these moments often keeps both minds replaying the encounter, reinforcing the depth of unspoken connection and the magnetic pull between two people. The impact of electric touches is subtle yet profound, functioning as a nonverbal language of desire, consent, and psychological intimacy, where every brush of skin carries meaning and amplifies the invisible threads binding two individuals together. No. 4. Magnetic energy, the invisible pull that draws you together. Magnetic energy is an unspoken force that makes two people feel irresistibly drawn to each other, often without conscious explanation. This invisible pull goes beyond physical attraction. It is a psychological and emotional resonance that creates an almost gravitational connection between two minds and bodies. In dark psychology and the study of human chemistry, magnetic energy is one of the most potent indicators of a deep unspoken bond, reflecting alignment on emotional, intellectual, and sensual levels. When magnetic energy exists, being near each other feels electric. Even in a crowded room, Two individuals with this connection seem to gravitate naturally toward one another, often without acknowledging it aloud. Their movements, glances, and gestures align subtly, creating a sense of inevitability, as if the universe itself is orchestrating their proximity. This energy can intensify desire and anticipation, making every interaction feel charged and meaningful, even when no words are spoken. Psychologically, magnetic energy arises from a combination of mutual attraction, shared emotional frequency, and subconscious recognition of compatibility. It activates deep neural pathways related to reward, pleasure, and emotional bonding. When two people feel this energy, their brain chemistry, dopamine, oxytocin, and adrenaline, works together to heighten focus, excitement, and awareness of each other. This physiological response reinforces the sense of connection, making the attraction feel both urgent and unavoidable. Magnetic energy often manifests in subtle but noticeable behaviors. People may unconsciously lean closer, angle their bodies toward each other, or maintain prolonged eye contact. There's a heightened awareness of each other's presence, and even simple touches or shared laughs can feel intensely intimate. This energy also enhances emotional receptivity. Each person becomes more attuned to the other's moods, micro-expressions, and reactions, further deepening the psychological link. In intimate or romantic contexts, magnetic energy amplifies sexual tension. Every movement, glance, or accidental brush of skin carries more significance, creating a potent mix of anticipation and desire. The connection can feel addictive, pulling both individuals into a loop of unspoken communication and mutual fascination. Even when separated, people often replay moments in their minds, drawn back to the intensity of the bond they felt in each other's presence. Magnetic energy is subtle yet undeniable. It operates beneath the level of conscious thought, guiding interactions, reinforcing attraction, and strengthening the invisible threads of connection. This invisible pull makes the relationship feel alive, dynamic, and irresistible, creating an intense psychological and emotional link that words cannot capture. No. 5. Telepathic communication. Knowing each other without words. Telepathic communication is the uncanny ability to sense or understand what the other person is thinking or feeling without any verbal exchange. In the context of deep connection and dark psychology, this phenomenon often appears between two individuals who share intense emotional and psychological alignment. It's as if their minds operate on the same wavelength, allowing them to anticipate reactions, finish each other's sentences, or intuitively respond to unspoken needs. This type of connection is subtle but undeniable. It might manifest as knowing exactly when to speak or remain silent, predicting the other's mood, or instinctively understanding their desires and boundaries. Telepathic communication often creates a sense of intimacy that is both thrilling and disarming, as both individuals feel seen and understood on a level that goes beyond ordinary conversation. Physiologically, this kind of connection engages mirror neurons and emotional resonance centers in the brain. When one person experiences a thought or emotion, the other subconsciously picks up on cues, micro-expressions, tone shifts, body posture, or even subtle changes in energy. Over time, these cues become internalized, and both individuals begin to anticipate each other's feelings and responses with remarkable accuracy. Telepathic communication also intensifies attraction and desire. Knowing that someone gets you without effort builds trust and emotional vulnerability, allowing for deeper connection. It fosters a sense of exclusivity, as if the two are sharing a private world that no one else can enter. This mutual understanding can be intoxicating, enhancing sexual tension, flirtation, and psychological intimacy simultaneously. In practical interactions, this manifests in small but significant ways. One person might start a thought, and the other completes it effortlessly. A glance may convey a complete message, or a touch may be perfectly timed to convey comfort or desire. These silent exchanges strengthen the bond, creating a feedback loop of empathy, attentiveness, and unspoken communication. Telepathic communication also heightens emotional awareness. Each person becomes sensitive to subtle fluctuations in energy, moods, and intentions. This allows for almost instinctive reactions, creating harmony and synchronization in interactions. It gives both a sense of being deeply connected, almost as if their minds are entwined. This form of unspoken understanding reinforces the psychological and emotional tie between individuals. It operates quietly beneath conscious awareness, yet its presence is profoundly felt, making each interaction more intense, intimate, and inseparable from the magnetic pull that defines a deep unspoken connection. No. 6. Jealousy and possessiveness. Signals. The silent claim of desire. Jealousy and possessiveness are subtle yet powerful indicators of a deep unspoken connection. In the context of dark psychology and intimate attraction, these emotions often emerge unconsciously when two people share a magnetic bond. Unlike overt displays of control or aggression, these signals are delicate, psychological markers that reveal how much each person values the connection and perceives the other as exclusive to themselves. These signals can manifest in micro-expressions, body language, or behavioral shifts. A fleeting frown, tightened jaw, or slightly guarded posture when the other person interacts with someone else can indicate subconscious territorial instincts. Even small remarks or teasing comments can carry undertones of possessiveness, reflecting an internal acknowledgement of the special bond and a desire to maintain its exclusivity. Psychologically, jealousy arises when one senses a threat to a valued connection. When two people share a deep attraction, this threat doesn't need to be explicit. The mere presence of another individual can trigger subtle protective instincts. This response often strengthens the bond, as it reflects a subconscious recognition of emotional investment and mutual desire. The person displaying possessive tendencies is signaling, without words, that the other is significant and worth guarding, reinforcing the intensity of the connection. Possessiveness also intertwines with sexual tension. Slight displays of jealousy, such as closer proximity, an intentional touch or focused attention, can intensify attraction, creating a playful yet charged dynamic. The awareness that each person deeply cares and desires exclusivity heightens anticipation and emotional engagement, fueling a psychological push and pull that strengthens intimacy. In social or crowded environments, these signals often become amplified. The way someone subtly positions themselves near the other person, monitors interactions, or injects humor with underlying hints of ownership can all communicate their subconscious claim. At the same time, the recipient of these signals perceives the intensity of interest, reinforcing the magnetic pull and deepening emotional resonance. Jealousy and possessiveness also provide insight into vulnerability. The fact that one feels the need to protect or guard the other demonstrates a subconscious investment in the relationship and acknowledgement of emotional dependence. This dynamic creates a silent mutual understanding that the connection is valuable, rare, and deeply intimate. These unspoken signals operate beneath conscious awareness, making them powerful indicators of psychological and emotional depth. They amplify desire, heighten awareness of each other, and maintain the invisible tension that defines a profound magnetic and unspoken connection between two people. No. 7. Flirtatious humor and playfulness. The sexy dance of minds. Flirtatious humor and playfulness are powerful indicators of a deep, unspoken connection between two people. Unlike casual jokes, this type of interaction carries layers of meaning, blending attraction, intimacy, and psychological engagement. In dark psychology, playful banter is often a tool to test boundaries, gauge interest, and establish a seductive intellectual rapport that strengthens the invisible bond. Playfulness often manifests through teasing, double entendre, or witty remarks that require the other person to engage mentally as well as emotionally. This creates a sense of shared understanding and complicity, signaling that both individuals are tuned into each other's thoughts and desires. The humor is never purely superficial. It acts as a subtle invitation to explore deeper emotional and sexual chemistry. Psychologically, playful interactions stimulate the brain's reward system. Laughter triggers dopamine release, creating feelings of pleasure, connection, and attraction. When coupled with flirtation, this dynamic amplifies the intensity of the bond, making both parties crave interaction and reinforcing the subconscious pull toward each other. The mind begins associating the other person with excitement, fun, and anticipation, strengthening the magnetic link. Flirtatious humor also allows individuals to express desire and sexual tension indirectly. A teasing comment, suggestive joke, or playful challenge can convey interest without verbal declaration, keeping the interaction charged and intriguing. This indirect approach creates anticipation and leaves room for imagination, enhancing the psychological thrill of the connection. The subtle tension woven into playful exchanges often deepens attraction while keeping the dynamic mysterious and seductive. Playfulness is often accompanied by nonverbal cues that reinforce the connection. Smiles, prolonged eye contact, light touches during laughter, or leaning in closer during banter all enhance the effect, creating a multi-layered dialogue of humor, attraction, and unspoken understanding. These gestures strengthen the emotional resonance, making both individuals feel seen, appreciated, and desired simultaneously. This dynamic also fosters intimacy and trust. When someone feels comfortable enough to be playful and teasing, it signals emotional safety and mutual recognition of attraction. The balance of wit, charm, and subtle flirtation builds a psychological intimacy that words alone cannot achieve. It is a dance of minds and emotions, where each response deepens the connection and strengthens the unspoken understanding. Flirtatious humor and playfulness create an irresistible energy that combines intellect, desire, and emotional resonance. It binds two people together, forming a psychological playground where attraction, intimacy, and darkly magnetic chemistry thrive, keeping the connection thrilling, intoxicating, and deeply unspoken. No 8. Unexplained emotional vulnerability, the sexy power of opening up. Unexplained emotional vulnerability is a profound indicator of a deep, unspoken connection. It occurs when two people instinctively feel safe revealing parts of themselves that they typically guard, fears, insecurities, desires, or secret fantasies, without needing verbal permission or explicit encouragement. In the context of dark psychology, this vulnerability signals trust, intimacy, and a magnetic pull that allows individuals to lower their defenses in ways that feel both thrilling and dangerous. When emotional walls come down naturally, it creates an invisible psychological bridge between the two individuals. They don't just share stories, they share energy, emotions, and inner truths that are rarely exposed to others. This silent exchange generates intense closeness, as each person senses that the other recognizes, validates, and even craves these hidden facets of their personality. Vulnerability becomes a channel for intimacy that words alone cannot achieve, deepening both emotional and sexual tension. Psychologically, revealing hidden emotions triggers a surge of empathy, oxytocin, and emotional resonance. When one person opens up, the other subconsciously responds with attunement, understanding, and often reciprocal disclosure. This dynamic fosters an invisible bond, reinforcing the idea that each person is uniquely attuned to the other's inner world. The connection feels rare, electrifying, and difficult to replicate with anyone else. Emotional vulnerability also heightens attraction by blending trust with desire. When someone willingly exposes their innermost thoughts, it signals emotional courage and authenticity, qualities that are magnetically appealing on both conscious and subconscious levels. At the same time, the recipient often experiences a sense of power, intimacy, and psychological alignment, creating an addictive interplay of closeness, sexual tension, and mental synchronization. This vulnerability is often communicated through subtle cues rather than direct words. A lingering gaze during a confession, a hesitant touch, or an intuitive pause can convey openness and invite reciprocal emotional honesty. These silent cues intensify the unspoken bond, making both individuals hyper-aware of each other's feelings and reactions. The psychological effect is a shared understanding that transcends verbal communication, heightening both intimacy and desire simultaneously. Unexplained emotional vulnerability builds a magnetic field of trust and intrigue. It deepens connection by allowing each person to experience the other's authentic self while reinforcing a sense of exclusivity, closeness, and psychological dependence. This silent exchange is intoxicating, amplifying attraction, creating emotional resonance, and solidifying the invisible threads of connection that bind two people together in ways that words can never fully capture. No 9. Body language synchrony. Moving as one without words. Body language synchrony is a powerful nonverbal indicator of deep unspoken connection. It occurs when two individuals instinctively align their movements, gestures, posture, and even breathing patterns, creating an invisible rhythm that reflects psychological and emotional harmony. Unlike conscious imitation, this synchrony happens naturally, revealing a subconscious attunement to each other's energy and presence. When body language synchrony is present, interactions feel effortless and fluid. People may lean in at the same moment, shift their weight in tandem, or mirror subtle hand movements without realizing it. These gestures create a sense of unity, signaling that both individuals are operating on the same wavelength. The subconscious alignment communicates comfort, trust, and mutual understanding, deepening the invisible bond that words cannot fully express. Physiologically, body language synchrony stimulates the brain's mirror neuron system, reinforcing empathy and connection. When one person moves or gestures, the other mirrors it unconsciously, creating a feedback loop that fosters intimacy and attunement. This mirroring can heighten emotional resonance, as each individual feels the other's presence more acutely, reinforcing attraction and psychological closeness. In intimate or romantic contexts, synchrony amplifies sexual tension and emotional intensity. Even simple acts like sipping a drink, shifting in a chair, or walking side by side can feel charged when perfectly aligned. This unconscious choreography communicates mutual interest and desire, often making interactions feel magnetic addictive, and deeply connected. Subtle cues, such as synchronized breathing, slight postural shifts, or matching gestures, create a sense of shared experience and rhythm. The more aligned the movements, the stronger the perception of intimacy and connection, as if both minds are intuitively coordinating without verbal confirmation. This silent interplay fosters a feeling of oneness, enhancing attraction and reinforcing the psychological pull between two people. Body language synchrony is a nonverbal symphony of connection. It operates beneath conscious awareness, strengthening emotional bonds, enhancing attraction, and creating a psychological link that feels instinctive, magnetic, and unbreakable, binding two individuals together without a single word spoken. Note 10. Lingering attraction and mental replay. The mind that can't let go. Lingering attraction and mental replay are powerful signs of a deep, unspoken connection. After spending time together, both individuals continue to think about each other long after the interaction ends. Moments, glances, touches, and conversations are replayed in the mind, often with heightened intensity, creating a psychological loop that strengthens desire and emotional attachment. This mental replay often occurs unconsciously. A simple memory, a smile, a brush of the hand, or a shared laugh can trigger a cascade of thoughts and emotions, amplifying the sense of connection. The brain relives these interactions, reinforcing the emotional and sexual energy that was present and making both individuals crave more experiences together. Psychologically, lingering attraction activates the brain's reward centers. Dopamine, oxytocin, and adrenaline reinforce memories of closeness and pleasure, making recollection feel addictive. The more someone replays moments mentally, the stronger the subconscious pull toward the other person. This unspoken reinforcement deepens the connection, making each individual feel tethered to the other by invisible threads of desire and recognition. Mental replay also magnifies subtle interactions that may have seemed minor in real time. A glance exchanged across the room, a brief touch, or a shared joke can take on greater significance upon reflection. Each replayed moment strengthens awareness of compatibility, mutual attraction, and the unique psychological bond that exists between the two, even without explicit communication. This phenomenon intensifies sexual tension and emotional intimacy simultaneously. The mind lingers on what was shared and anticipates future encounters, heightening desire and expectation. It creates a dynamic where both people remain mentally and emotionally present in each other's lives, even in their physical absence, sustaining the magnetic pull and subconscious connection. Lingering attraction and mental replay are silent forces that bind individuals together. They operate beneath conscious control, reinforcing emotional resonance, deepening desire, and ensuring that the psychological and sexual connection continues to grow. This internal echo of interactions keeps both minds engaged, building anticipation, intimacy, and an invisible thread that links them in ways that words or gestures alone cannot achieve.